Being able to extend DOM elements through prototype objects sounds amazing. We are taking advantage of JavaScript's prototypal nature, and scripting DOM becomes very object-oriented. And it's so tempting that even a few years ago, Prototype JavaScript library made it an essential part of its architecture. But hang on to your horses, not so fast. There are a lot of problems with implementing DOM extensions this way, and I'm going to discuss why it's correctly. For example, if we go and make a paragraph element, remember p equals document.createElement, can't we just then add a property to that paragraph? Well, we can, but performance-wise, it's not a good idea. It's very slow. But anyway, I want to go back to this host objects. What are the problems here? Well, DOM objects are host objects, and host objects are the most difficult to work with. Host objects are allowed to do things that no other object can even dream of doing. So we could say that extending DOM objects is kind of like walking in a minefield. By definition, we're working with something that's allowed to behave in an unpredictable and completely erratic way. Let's just quickly look at an example. If we type document create element p and we access the offset parent method, this will not work in Internet Explorer. We'll get an error. That's just an example of why it's not a good idea, and there are no rules specifying how these should behave. The final thing I want to discuss is collisions. You got to think what it is we're doing here. Whenever we start adding our own extensions to objects, we have to come up with a property name. In our instance, or our example, we called it red. But what about if red is already part of the DOM? Can we overwrite it? Does it have other knock-on effects with other parts of DOM and code? Remember, HTML5 brings new methods and properties all the time. Whew, so there you have it. Those are some of the biggest problems I can think of. And just to summarize, my view on this whole topic is generally DOM extensions are not a great idea. And this is true even if you only want your site to work on 2 browsers. You're still going to have collision risks, those ones we just discussed. So then what is the solution? Well, one solution is to use object wrappers. And this is pretty much what jQuery has done from the very beginning. But anyway, this is a topic that's entirely beyond the scope of what I'm trying to get across here. I hope you've learned a lot about DOM extensions. I hope you kind of get a feel as to why it's not necessarily the best idea. But anyway, stay motivated and I'll see you in the next lecture.